Hello and welcome to day 2 of our 5-pound challenge. Today we are talking about autonomic pairing, which is really important for our nervous system to, let me start again, I think. Hi, welcome to day 2 of our 5-pound weight loss challenge. For today we are talking about autonomic pairing, which is just a fancy word for how do we maintain our nervous system? How do we keep feelings of safety and calm within our body? And of course, we're going to be going through our 5-pound challenge checklist. So make sure that you have that printed off handy, things that you can make sure that you're just looking at. So let me go through my notes here, and we're going to talk about regaining control of our nervous system, our life, our health. So from ages 0 to 8 is when our beliefs, our values, our perceptions are formed, our personality is kind of set by age 8, and this determines how our nervous system responds to stimuli. So one of the things that we have on here is journal on what was going on in this time of your life from ages 0 to 8. What about your mindset or your family's mindset about health, wealth, finances? What were the values in your home? How did your parents respond to stress, triggers in their relationships and around their home? What did you watch on TV? What did you learn in your religious community? What did you learn from friendships in elementary school or homeschool, wherever you were? And it's important to realize how we are raised. We learn to mimic, to respond to stimuli and stress in our environments. And if your parents responded with a lot of fear and stress, you will most likely be responding in the same patterns. If they were calm, if they were confident, if they were like, okay, let's figure this out, you might have that more trained into your system, literally built in and wired in to respond that way. If you're opposite than your family, that's fine too. There's so many things that play into our personality, how we respond, our own personal traumas, our own personality, everything. So this is just a great thing to journal on and think about where you were learning these habits from, okay? All right, so information about our environment, about our safety, about our well-being passes through our limbic system in our brain, and it filters all of these situations through our beliefs, our values, our past experiences, and then based on that, we determine if a stressful situation is a threat or not. And then our nervous system decides how to respond. Are we going to go into fight or flight? Are we going to go into freeze? Are we going to go into rest and recovery? There's a lot of information there. So we have two parts, kind of. It's a little bit more complicated than even what I was taught 20 years ago, which is we have parasympathetics and sympathetics, right? So our sympathetics are our fight or flight. This is what people commonly think of as you're being chased by a bear. How is your body going to respond? It's going to respond with the sympathetics, with the stress. And so what happens is our pupils dilate, so we get more light in, so we can see better. Our blood pressure increases, our respiration rate increases. Blood is diverted into the arms and legs and away from the abdomen, so we can run, so we can escape. And this is only supposed to be for a small period of time, right? You're either safe or, let's be honest, you're dead. The bear got you and it's over, or you were able to get away and save your life. And then we're supposed to be able to be calming down. Like when you see a nature video and you see a lion go after a zebra and the zebra escapes and the zebra re-assimilates back into their pack, and you see them physically shake off everything. So that is an essential reset of their nervous system. They don't necessarily aren't looking around all the time. They don't stay in that state of panic and fear and escapism. They're like, okay, we're back, we're safe. There's a great book called Why Don't Zebras Get Ulcers, I think, about this adrenaline response or nervous system response, but that's kind of part of it. But anyways, so we're supposed to be in this state for a short period of time, but what happens in our modern culture is that we tend to be stuck here, right? So we wake up, you might already be stressed out. right? And then kids off on your way to work. The commute is stressful. Work is stressful. You eat through lunch, it's stressful. You go home, you're commuting, it's stressful. You have to get your kids to sports and dinner and activities, and that's stressful. And like, we never get a moment to calm down, really. We're never able to take that space. And especially depending on how your body perceives stress, like if your boss is calling you and that filters through your limbic system, is it stress or is it like just information? Are you worried you're going to be fired all the time? Or are you like, okay, what's next that I have to do on my list? So there's a lot to think about this. And when you think about that, our blood pressure increases, our eyes are dilating, our heart rate increases, blood is diverted away from our digestion and our reproductive organs, you can see how this causes our body to shut down and have a lot of health issues, right? Especially hormone issues, high blood pressure, digestive issues. And then the other thing that happens in the stress is that glucose, sugar, is liberated into our bloodstream, so that way we're feeding our brain, we're feeding our muscles, and we can move faster. However, if we're sitting here, like I'm sitting at my desk and I'm having a really stressful day and I'm in fight or flight, my heart is racing, my sugar is going up, but I'm not using it because I'm sitting and I'm in a stressful experience. So that sugar then gets stored as fat, and we gain weight, and we have all types of diabetic type issues because our cells aren't able to accept sugar if we're not exercising and moving and getting it in and using it. Okay, so today we're talking about shifting into a parasympathetic state to rest and heal and support our body. So, for example, like detoxing, when we're in fight or flight, when we're in that sympathetic mode, only 5% of our blood goes to our liver and our kidneys. In parasympathetic state, in that resting state, 50% goes to our liver and our kidneys. So we want to make sure that when we're eating, when we're drinking water, when we're focused on that, that we're in a parasympathetic state, so we can digest and assimilate our food. And the same thing goes for when we want to lose weight, is if you are rushing through meals, you're eating in the car, you're eating on the go, you're watching TV, all of these things stimulate our sympathetic response. And what's interesting, I even learned during our mindfulness eating course last year, is that scrolling through social media, reading, being on your computer, just watching TV, those distractions will actually put you into a sympathetic state, which decreases your digestion and the ability to assimilate and use nutrition and sugar. So we might think that watching TV while we eat is fine, but it's actually a distraction that can trigger our sympathetic nervous system. So the goal is that we really focus in, be really present, minimize distractions and stress when we're eating, when we're working out, and when we're connecting with our family or our loved ones, so we can really be in that state. So let's go through our checklist really quickly. So number one, identify people, places, and things that trigger you and why. And going back to yesterday, you can be triggered by your triggers, but you can also be triggered by your own mental and physical state. So think about your triggers, situations, but also think about what state triggers you. So is it hormones, like a PMS, a super trigger time for you of the month? Is a certain time of day a trigger for you? Like, are mornings hardest? Is it the 4 p.m. meltdown that all children seem to have around dinner time that make dinner time just miserable? Is it late at night when you need to shut everything down but you're too busy working? Like, is it a hyperactive state? Is it when you haven't had a break all day? Are you more triggered or likely to be triggered? Okay. Be an observer of your thoughts, emotions, and breath. We're constantly doing, filling our calendar. Take some time to sit in silence. I know, crazy. Lock yourself in the pantry? Yes. Quiet time in the kitchen? Absolutely. Or your closet? Yes. I used to call mine, when Ava was really little, mommy timeouts, especially when I had a stressful day. I'm like, mommy had a bad day. She needs some time so she can be better. So I would put Ava in her crib and put my headphones in and just listen to like 2 or 3 songs and just lay down on my bed and just either cry or yell or like get it out. And then after that time, I was able to come back. Meditation is obviously wonderful. Is that on our list? I don't think it is, but meditation is a great time to be an observer of your thoughts. Ideally, 20 minutes a day to get the most benefit out of meditation. Start with 5 minutes and then move up to 10 and then move up to 20 and really see what time of day works best for you and how you can get it done. The other thing on this list is about our breath, right? So breath is incredibly important, and I think it's something that's just coming into awareness now because of COVID, to be completely honest. And people who have the infection, and really any infection that has to do with the lungs, are finding that it's hard to breathe. And then we're also having just a harder time breathing because our sympathetics are engaged, and it's, inflammation, things like that. One of the treatments that we recommend is yogic breathing, because we just don't breathe deeply into our bellies, and if your lungs are not expanding and moving and getting that mucus out and filtering out in your deep parts of your lung, it's just going to stay stagnant. You're going to stay coughing. You're going to have less oxygen in your body. You're going to be more tired and feel like crap. So breathing is actually incredibly important. Most people are breathing with their shoulders, so they take a deep breath. And this is really exaggerated, but you might want to sit in front of a mirror. I love to meditate in front of the mirror, eyes open, and just watch your shoulders. What about your SCMs right here when you breathe? Are these tightening? They shouldn't be. Put a hand on your belly and just let it relax and feel your belly move. Feel your chest move. So one hand on the top of your chest, one hand on your belly. Get used to that deep diaphragmatic breathing. It's really important. The primary function of our mouth is to chew. It's not meant for breathing, okay? And our nose is actually meant for breathing. So 85% of us are actually mouth breathers, which triggers our sympathetic nervous system. So we want to be able to breathe through our nose. You can breathe out through your mouth, but breathing through your nose will decrease your blood pressure. It'll improve your parasympathetic state. It'll reduce your blood sugar as well. There's all kinds of crazy research on it. So we want to pay more attention to how we breathe. If you're a mouth breather, be more conscious of how you breathe through your nose. Is it a sinus issue? Do you need to get your sinuses taken care of? Quercetin, ginger, and things that improve nitric balance, like the supplement nitric balance, nitric oxide, will actually help decrease inflammation and open up those pathways. There's lots of things you can do. We can make a list a million miles long for sinuses, but some people will do mouth taping at night to force them to breathe through their nose, and that could actually be really helpful as well. So the research has shown that our ideal breath is 5.5 seconds inhale and exhale. So just focus on slowing down your breathing and taking some deep breaths in this week too. All right. Pair your nervous system with your current task. So be present. And being present also reduces your sympathetic nervous system fight or flight response. You are less likely to injure yourself. Every time, I'll knock my elbow or stub a toe, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am just not in the present moment. I'm not paying attention. And a lot of people say, well, I just have so many memory issues. I have no short-term memory. I can't remember where I put my keys or my wallet or anything. And a lot of that is because we're just not present. We're setting things down. We're like, I got to get to the next thing. And we're never, ever paying attention to this present moment. So pair that deep breathing with conscious effort, with being present, service and love, all of that good stuff. Okay. I got to make sure I'm in the right place. Be in the moment. So same thing, be present, especially when eating. I love to recommend to my patients, I recommend 4 squared breathing because I think it's the easiest to remember, but any style of breathing is good. So I say take a deep breath in for 4 seconds, hold for 4, let out for 4, and hold for 4. Just kind of triggers you to be in that moment. You have to count, you have to pay attention. You can't just be like, all right, I'm going to breathe and get this over with. It's a great way to bring yourself into the present moment. Get more blood to your brain, get more blood to your digestive system, calm down before you start eating, and activate that parasympathetics as well. And it also helps anchor in creativity. So if you're feeling really stuck, if you're working on a project, or you're like, you and the kids are like, I can't spend one more day inside, or because it's so cold, like, it helps recenter you and activate those parts of your brain and your mind that are creative and need that support. Okay. All right. And then choose, chew, chill, cherish, and check. Lots of C's. So think about what you're choosing in that moment. So this has specifically to do with food, but we know intuitively what is good for us and what isn't. And is this food or drink or activity taking you closer to your health goals or further away? And choosing in the right order in which we eat our food is really important too. So eating fresh fiber first, like salads or veggies, are going to prime your digestive system and those enzymes so you'll digest your food more effectively. And getting fiber in first will balance your blood sugar and make sure that your insulin's going to be working. Also, it's going to make sure that your blood sugar doesn't spike so high that it's going to trigger that negative response in you as well. And then chewing your food. We all know to chew our food, but we never ever do it. I've watched my brother eat a Chipotle burrito in 4 bites in like 5 minutes. It's wild. It's like a snake, and the kids are the same way too. So chewing, obviously, when we have that chewing action, it actually triggers our brain to start increasing acid in their stomach, which is why most people don't do well chewing gum, because you're chewing, you're increasing the acid in your stomach, and then you have acid reflux because acid has nothing to break down. So don't chew gum if you can, but chewing more will activate your stomach. We like to say that your stomach doesn't have teeth, and that's why so many people, I put almost everybody on digestive enzymes, and they almost always notice a big difference. So chewing will improve your digestion, reflux, bloating, gas, all of those things, really important. And then cherish. So think about all of the hands and people that it took to bring your food from farm literally to table. The seeds, the farmers, the trucks, the grocery store employees. Somebody had to buy it and cook it and prepare it, and just think and be grateful for every step of the way that this food has gotten to you in that moment. It makes such a difference. And then check. Every morning you have your bowel movement, or every time you have your bowel movement, turn around, take a look, because you want to know what's going on with your body. Is it formed? Is there undigested food in your stool? Do you have blood or mucus? What color is it? All of these things will give you really good insight into your health. A lot of people, for example, have what we call rabbit poops, so lots of like small little stools. That's a great sign that you need pancreatic enzymes, and taking enzymes will actually clear that up, and you'll have more formed stool, less pain with that as well. Okay, so that's all for today. Let me see if it doesn't say that there's any comments. I'm not missing anything. Nope, not yet. Okay, awesome. So for today's challenge, share in the comments either something that triggers you that you've noticed, maybe why, maybe if you have a trick that you like to do to be in the present moment. The other thing that I love about this group is sharing resources. So if you have a favorite meditation, a place that you like to go, guided meditation, things like that, please share, because we need more resources and more support as we go on this journey. So stay in gratitude, keep your focus on love and supporting yourself on this journey. Thank you so much for being here, and we will see you tomorrow for day 3. Have a good one.